Live with coverage you can count on. This is News 2 at 6.
Good evening and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Brendan Clark. Our top story, new tonight. We're learning more about the police officer that was demoted after accusations of racial bias. The North Charleston police officer was demoted earlier this month in connection to a YouTube video which parodies the song, What Does the Fox Say? News 2's Travis Rice got a hold of the internal review documents and has more on this investigation. He joins us live. Travis?
Hey, good evening, Brendan. Well, that video is titled, What Does the Black Say? And it's about as tasteless as you can imagine. The issue here, what was an officer thinking forwarding what investigators call a racially motivated video to a Charleston blog? Officer David Winslet was demoted on March 2nd after a Facebook message with a link to that video was found in the Charleston Thug Life group's inbox. SLED and solicitor Scarlett Wilson were investigating the Thug Life website and came across Winslet's message with the video attached. The solicitor's office filed a complaint against Winslet earlier this year. And here is Winslet in his own words explaining the video to the Professional Standards Bureau.
You stated in your text that you guys have probably seen this, but if not, it's quite entertaining. What did that mean?
It was funny. I mean, even in the beginning, it starts picking on all the ethnicities. I'm not gonna lie, I joked with everybody.
Winslet later went on to say that some of the jokes he makes may be inappropriate, but they are never malicious. It's worth noting that Winslet himself was shot in the line of duty while responding to a robbery in 2012. He received a Purple Heart Award for that. The documents also did reveal that Solicitor Wilson filed the complaint out of concern for Winslet's ability to testify effectively in court because of the content of that video he shared. Reporting in studio, Travis Rice, News 2.
The Berkeley County Sheriff's Office and Moncks Corner Police are investigating a shooting that took place at McDonald's last night. Happened just before 8 o'clock at that restaurant located on North Highway 52. Authorities say two men were arguing and one of them got angry, pulled out a gun and began firing. No one was injured. Authorities say when they arrived at the scene, the suspect was nowhere to be found. They say they are interviewing people who were inside the restaurant in hopes of identifying that suspect. The all clear was given at Somerville High School after students were evacuated this morning. Dorchester District 2 spokesperson Patricia Rayner says a fire alarm went off after smoke and an odor was detected in a science lab on the first floor. No one was inside the room at the time. Officials say an exhaust fan malfunctioned on the first floor, which led to that incident. Some Charleston area residents are worried about Google's request to pump more water to cool its computer servers near Moncks Corner. Those concerned about the plan want state regulators to wait until a study is finished later this year on South Carolina's underground water supplies. Google's request would make it the third largest water user in the Charleston area. One of the most controversial bills at the South Carolina State House drew a crowd for today's Senate hearing. The bill is called the Personhood Act, and it says life begins at fertilization, so all abortions would be illegal. A Senate subcommittee heard public testimony today. There were arguments over whether the bill is constitutional and whether life really does begin at fertilization from a scientific standpoint.
Rape, incest, if a woman's life is in danger, if the fetus is going to die, there's no exceptions for any of that. Women will have to suffer.
44 people signed up to testify today, but there was time to hear from only 10 of them, so the subcommittee did not take a vote and plans another hearing, but the bill is running out of time to pass this year. Where you live could play a role in how long you live. A new study finds some of South Carolina's counties are much healthier than others. For the Low Country, Dorchester ranks number 2, Charleston 5, and Berkeley sits at 7. The report looks at smoking, obesity, and physical activity, but it goes beyond that, looking at how graduation rates, violent crime, physicians, poverty, and pollution play a role. The study shows that all across the country, there's a big increase in deaths among 15 to 44-year-olds. Experts say the drug overdose epidemic is the leading cause of death among that group and a clear driver of the trend. South Carolina Governor Henry McMaster says any new regulations or taxes could derail South Carolina's success in business. So he is considering an executive order which would block new regulation from going into effect. He made this announcement yesterday while speaking at the annual meeting of the Upstate South Carolina Alliance. McMaster says the state has developed a reputation around the world for its low cost of doing business and innovation.
So that's my goal, is to see that we do not raise taxes and that we do not pass any regulations that are counterproductive or will hurt more than they will help.
Governor McMaster also said he is not in favor of raising taxes to fix the roads. He wants the state to use money from the current gas tax and general fund to make the necessary repairs. South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham will host a town hall meeting this Saturday in North Charleston. It kicks off at 10:30 a.m. at Trident Technical College, the main campus. Seating based on a first-come, first-served basis. Signs will not be allowed at that town hall since they can block the view of others. Doors will open at 10 a.m. Charleston certainly has a busy weekend on hand with the Cooper River Bridge Run, the big one, also the Flower Town Festival, which takes place over 3 days in Somerville. News 2's Margaret Chadbourne has a sneak peek at what people can expect.
A recent cold snap in South Carolina has prevented the azaleas from being in full bloom for this year's Flower Town Festival. But if you come out to Somerville, there's still plenty to see and do. No festival is complete without crafts, ride, and food. Even in setup mode, it's clear Flower Town is no exception. Vendors come in from all over the country and set up shop for a 3-day affair in the heart of Somerville at Azalea Park. The hundreds of tents setting up include newcomers.
This year at the Flower Town Festival, my first time making crafts.
And those that return year after year to sell their wares.
For 19 years, but for this festival, we've been about 6 years.
The festival, put on by the YMCA, mainly helps raise money for scholarships. Last year alone, it brought in $100,000.
Somerville YMCA is a nonprofit, so everything that we raise actually gets turned back into the community. It benefits over 13,000 people, helping them go to swim lessons or be a part of a sport or take a class in diabetes prevention.
Missing this year, the flowers.
A couple weeks ago, they were in full bloom, and then we had a cold snap, and they did kind of wilt on us.
The pops of colors that usually line the park failed to bloom in coordinating fashion with the festival.
I will tell you, if you take a nice stroll through Azalea Park, they are still out there, some hidden treasures, of course.
That isn't stopping anyone from planning a weekend of fun.
He loves coming. He loves the little alligators that they have.
If you have any remaining questions about where to park or what to see and do, there's an app that the YMCA has provided for those coming to Flower Town. In Somerville, Margaret Chadbourne, News 2.
This weekend, a spiritual ballet accompanied by film, art, and dancing will hold its world premiere right here in Charleston. Emmanuel, Love is the Answer, will debut on April 1st at Sotilli Theater at 7 o'clock. It's the creation of South Carolina ballet director William Starrett. He describes it as a work of transcendence, hope, harmony, love, forgiveness, and reconciliation. The Cooper River Bridge Run is just around the corner now. We're just 2 days away from this big event. As you know, 40,000 people will make their way from Mount Pleasant over the Ravenel Bridge and end in downtown Charleston Saturday morning. Don't miss our special edition of News 2 Today. It's happening before and throughout the Cooper River Bridge Run from 6 until 9:30 this Saturday morning. The race begins at 8 on Coleman Boulevard in Mount Pleasant. That's near Moultrie Middle School. It spans across the bridge and ends just past Marion Square. Several roads will close starting tomorrow night, including all entrances to Hampton Park, several areas of George Street and Meeting Street on Saturday. Areas of Calhoun and many other downtown roads will close. And then the Ravenel Bridge will close at 7 a.m. We have a full list of when roads will close and when they will reopen. It's all on our website, counton2.com. And the Cooper River Bridge Run Expo kicked off today inside the Charleston Convention Center. Thousands expected to attend before Saturday's 40th annual Bridge Run. News 2's Macy McLeod is live there right now on what visitors can expect, and we're certainly expecting thousands to go through where you are, Macy.
Hey, Brendan, that's right. I'm here live at the Charleston Area Convention Center at the Cooper River Bridge Run Expo. And I am actually here with Peter Torrey. He is one of the volunteers that you will see at the race on Saturday. And you are going to be motivating people at mile 6, is that right?
Approximately mile 6, where the photographers have got their overhead gantry. I'm standing at the bottom, trying to encourage them, inverted commas, to look at the camera, smile and put their hands up. Yeah, smile or grimace, it looks the same in the picture.
And then you come all the way from Great Britain
From
every
London.
year. Yeah.
Absolutely, just like Coca-Cola, I'm the real thing from London. This is my 4th occasion here, and Julian Smith, invites me over each year because he met me at Les Smith's race in Portland, Oregon, and says, Peter, come over and help at Charleston. So here I am for the 4th year running, and it's always a pleasure and a treat, and meeting old friends, meeting new friends who also become old friends. It's a delightful place. I told my friends back in England, Charleston is where the American Civil War started. What a delightful place it is. I have a joke with them. I can't always understand what they're saying, but it works the other way as well.
So we're here at the Bridge Run Expo, and they are handing out these packets that are very important for people to pick up today. And we have some T-shirts in here and some head wraps. And
they'll come